Hi, and welcome back to The Blender on scenestr TV. Now, if you're just getting to know us, scenestr TV is the natural extension of our magazines, just like these ones behind us. They're available all across Australia, and also our website of the same name. Now, links to all of that are available in the description below.
Today, Gabby Skypes to the UK with Jack Garratt, the English indie pop star and Brit Award winner. Check out some dating tips with Dasha in Melbourne, and then bounce back to Liverpool for an arts fix at Casula Powerhouse. James Murphy gives us a first look at Predator on PlayStation 4 and PC, which dropped last week. And we close out with another clip from The Vault, which is our most viewed scenestr TV clip ever. But first, here's Gab and Jack.
Most important question first. How are you?
I mean, right now I'm tired, but that's only because it's 7 a.m. here.
Oh, you up there?
Yeah. But other than that, I'm okay.
Tell me about the next record.
It's taken a lot out of me to figure it out. The first album that I released in 2016, Phase, was a really amazing achievement for me. It was definitely a very poignant nugget of time in my career. It was a burst of flame in a very shallow pan.
Sure.
And it created an opportunity for me to put my foot in the door. However, what I went through was different. So I think the chaos of what the music industry might have been facing, the chaos that I ended up going through was personal and was in my head and was caused directly by a lot of things that were happening to me at the time, with the album and with the accolades that I won, with my relationships with some core people in my team. Just things started to be a bit funky and a little bit strange.
Yeah.
So when the tour ended at the end of 2016, I kind of found myself about almost a year deep into a very severe depression. I don't think I was very aware that I was in. And it felt very familiar. It felt like a feeling I'd had for a very long time, but I was finally able to kind of call it out as what it was, which was sadness. Knowing I should have been at the height of my career and feeling like I was at the bottom of it, was a very, very strange and bewildering sensation. So what I ended up doing with this record with Love, Death and Dancing, was I knew I never wanted to find myself in that situation again. So first of all, that meant I knew I never wanted to lose touch with myself so much so I didn't know what my emotional state was. So that's something I'm actively doing now. I'm trying to keep in touch with myself and keep asking myself questions like, how am I doing? But also on top of that, I wanted to make sure that the music I was making was truly the music that I was making was going to be music that I was really, really proud of.
I read online that you actually wrote an entire album and then scrapped it. What was it about it that didn't feel right?
Oh, it was crap. Obviously, all art is subjective anyway. But it was trying too hard. I wrote about 8 songs for an album that now doesn't exist. Some of those moments exist on the record. I've used some of them as interludes or as outros and midlights and stuff like that, because the music is good. It's just the intention behind it wasn't right. And the intention behind it was still very much, I'm worried about what people will think, so I'm going to hide behind what I know will keep them at a distance, which is make the production busy, overdo the metaphor on the lyrics, and just make sure those melodies are hooky. I just know that the one thing I wanted to have with this record was an inarguably satisfying record for its intended audience. And this album's intended audience is me. It's no one else. I've hit 100% of my target audience because I like this record. I love this record. I'm proud of it. I adore it. I fall in and out of love with it as much as I do with most music that I adore. And I think I've never felt like that about my own music before. And it's such a celebratory and reclamatory feeling. I know all the mistakes with it. I know what The Guardian are going to write about it. I know what's going to happen in terms of its critical reaction. And I'm prepared for that, and I'm as prepared for it and as obsessed with it as I have sounded the last 2 minutes. And I'm also and I'm also as carefree and as docile about it as I was when I was in that moment making the record, thinking to myself, all of that, because what does it matter? The minute everyone had to stay indoors was an opportune time for millionaires with lots of instruments and technology at home to start making very high quality living room sessions, quote living room sessions.
Yeah.
And I remember the first two I saw were like Chris Martin and John Legend all in the same week. And the minute I saw that, I remember my first reaction was like, well, there goes the opportunity for any independent artist to put a paywall behind that and actually earn some money while we're all stuck inside.
Yeah.
Because I'm very aware of my fortunate situation in that I'm signed to a major record label. I have a very good relationship with them. I'm currently putting a record out. That being said, that doesn't then deny me the right, however, to fight for the rights, well, not fight for the rights, but to speak openly about the fact that when those systems get abused, it ends up hurting the people who need those systems the most.
Yeah.
And independent musicians are struggling right now because the music industry has already taken away the money for record sales, and it's already and so it means that like the only real place that independent musicians can make their money is on the road selling merch and selling tickets, and that's been taken away from them by something else. And now the opportunity to make money by playing live has been taken away from them by millionaires who can sit at home and do it for free. So it's a very strange and confusing situation, because what you also don't want to do is starve people of entertainment. That's part of our job as artists. We love to entertain. We want to give people that break and escape from reality.
Did you have any angry neighbours, Jack?
Oh no, I do. I absolutely have an angry neighbour. We won't talk about her though. No, I mean, to be honest, they're fine. I'm doing everything on headphones anyway. I'm trying to be very courteous of that, and I don't do anything that's too late in the evening. I did, however, open my window once when it was really sunny, and I was just working on some new music and had the door slightly open, and one of our next door neighbours apparently went outside to just passive aggressively scream about me, not to me, not next door. My wife and my flatmate were outside sunbathing, and they just heard her talking about us, but not talking about us. It's England's a very strange place.
4-year hiatus from music, but still the iconic Jack Garratt beard remains.
So, dating. You've both swiped right, and now you've both got work to do. Don't sweat it. Here's Dasha with some dating tips.
Here at scenestr, we pride ourselves on being pretty broad when it comes to what we cover, whether it's music, arts, pop culture, or fashion. So why not throw dating tips in the mix as well? We've got a bit of unsolicited first date advice for you, whether it helps out or not. First of all, have a game plan. Feel prepared, feel confident, and show up either right on time or just a little bit early. Punctuality is totally sexy. You also want to be sure that you look and feel your best. Wear a nice outfit that you think suits the place you're heading to, but don't go so hard that you don't feel like yourself. You don't want to replace your personality with an overdone look. It's all about first impressions, and it's important that how you look is cohesive with who you are. Basically, you do you. Have a mental list of questions and conversation topics ready that you think will breeze the date along. Think about the things that you'd like to be asked or to talk about. This will make compiling your list a whole lot easier. And avoid the weather forecast where you can. That's some amateur stuff, and yes, we know it's been rainy lately. And golden rule, do not talk about your ex. Don't take yourself too seriously. Sure, you're relying on first impressions, but this isn't a job interview. Loosen up, share a funny story, make a few jokes, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. This one's probably the most important tip. Make sure to engage with and listen to your date. Even if you're not really into the topic, just pretend that you are, because chances are what they're talking about is really important to them, whether it's their favourite musician or a hobby. It's fine if something they bring up doesn't really float your boat, but tuning out and coming across as disinterested is a big no-no, especially if you're trying to win someone over. If they're as committed as you are to making a good impression, they just want to present themselves in the best way they can, and it's your job to make it clear that you appreciate it. So, there you have it. As cliche as it sounds, the main thing to remember is to just be yourself, because you can't find the right fit for you if you're not being you. And plus, even if it doesn't work out this time, they say we've all got at least one, if not multiple, soulmates out there. Good luck.
You can thank us later for those tips, hopefully.
Casula Powerhouse in Sydney had just launched its phenomenal Pulse of the Dragon exhibition when COVID arrived, but as you're about to see, the show must go on.
Salutations, this is Lady Lex with scenestr. It always warms my heart to recall Winston Churchill when he was asked to cut arts funding to support the war effort, and his response was, then what are we fighting for? Art has always been for the people, and our museums work tirelessly with technology to connect people with art and culture. It nourishes our soul, and from Casula Powerhouse, there's a whole new virtual 3D tour that can reach us anywhere we like, whether we're at the dining table, in the comfort of our homes, or even from our bed. And Bowden Evans from Casula Powerhouse in lovely Liverpool, right here in Sydney, is here to talk to us all about it. So you've got a great exhibition going on with Pulse of the Dragon. Tell me about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's a fantastic exhibition that we kind of hung. We got it open, but of course, due to COVID-19, we had to shut down the venues. We had artists from China due to come out. Luckily, Guan Wei, who's a local resident in Liverpool, was able to get it all set up for us. So we've just recently recorded it in 3D virtual realness, which is super awesome. It feels like you're really there. We also found that, we've got some great stories in the venue, sort of the talk about shutting down the venue was something that we all, were obviously super sad about, but it came to light that there were lots of sort of ghost stories sort of around the staff, and there was this sort of folkloric history of, who the ghosts are and what happens when you shut the venue, and some spooky things that have happened to people. So I was like, we have to do, a backstage tour. We have to do ghost stories. This is awesome. So you could go to www.casulapowerhouse.com. And we've got links to everything. There's one main page that will sort of share everything, and then we're sort of sectioning it off, parents at home who are going nuts with the kids. We've got a art activities page, so we've got all the workshops there, plus activity pages, so activity sheets that you can do at home. We've got recipes, we've got, how to make Play-Doh, how to make lava lamps, stop motion, how to make your own stop motion clip. So all that stuff is, you can get that from the homepage. We've also got a separate page for our Bellbird dining, so you can check out the videos there. We're about to launch a new one, which is the chili sauce recipe. So I think people will be super keen to see that. We're about to launch a talent contest too. Share us your favorite, photo that you've taken. Share your latest TikTok dance video with us. Share us your favorite meme. Share us your furry companion at home. We're wanting to see, what everybody else is doing, because, we really care about connecting with people, and we're just looking at new ways to connect with people. We're kind of, we can't have you in our venue at the moment, so we want to see what you're doing too, and we want to still continue those conversations.
Now, last week, Predator Hunting Grounds was released on PlayStation 4 and PC. James Murphy gives us a first look.
Hi everyone, Predator Hunting Ground has just dropped on the PlayStation 4, and I've had the opportunity to have the quickest of looks for this week's episode of The Blender. Check it out.
Ilphonics' Predator Hunting Grounds, based on the iconic Arnie action film from the 80s, has landed on the PlayStation 4. And this asymmetric multiplayer is a way for you and 3 friends to defy social distancing and find some zen during COVID-19 lockdown, as you form a fire team in the lushly realistic jungle to battle the original invisible enemy, the Predator. Well, maybe not the original. There was the Invisible Man and the Devil. But the Devil, did he have heat vision? That'd be pretty confusing in hell, I think. Heat vision isn't much use, though, even for the Predator, if you don't know how to use it. Quite beautifully designed game's first criticisms. The tutorial mode, where you can master the moves of the Predator, is quite limited, so your only option is to rely on the controller map. Then, if you decide to take on the role of the dreadlocked alien in multiplayer, you have to make peace with having your fluorescent blood splattered all over the jungle while you learn the ropes. In the early days, you don't have many weapons at your disposal, some sharp blades and, a shoulder-mounted laser-guided plasma blaster. The Predator is also quite skilled in the art of parkour, or predkour. Predkour. Get it? Predcure. Anyway, that's quite fun. Not quite as fun as swinging around New York as Spider-Man or caping it around Gotham as Batman, but it's still a nifty trick. You can stab enemies, prevent them from getting to the chopper, and then you can hightail it to the trees. With all these tools, plus invisibility at your disposal, being outnumbered by 4 gun-toting soldiers should be a piece of cake. Gamers know their way around a multiplayer shooter, though. They've had plenty of experience. So it would be nice to have a brief story mode for this game, or a lengthier tutorial, so that gamers could get more chance to learn to be a predator. The customization options are cool, with plenty of ways to upgrade your look and arsenal. I like the War Club. It's good for war and clubbing things. So although this isn't quite a multiplayer that compete with Call of Duty, it's a fun and unique new addition to the genre, particularly if you're a fan of the film and you have the patience to master the Predator's skill set. 3.5 stars.
Gaming's going to be a regular feature on the Blender, so that's worth a subscription all by itself, right?
Exactly. Taking us out today is the unclassifiable, redoubtable, unforgettable Kransky Sisters. You cannot unsee this. In fact, you might want to watch it twice.
Hello, we are the Kransky Sisters, and we're here with scenestr TV. Scenestr TV. Yes, yes.
Hi ladies, how are you?
Hello, Lady Lex.
How has it been so famous from Esk, and how do you deal with walking down the streets of Esk when you're so famous?
Oh, well, it's nice, sometimes we pop past the bakery and someone in the window might offer us a lamington or something, and that's always nice. And cars sometimes beep their horns to make us get out of the way.
Tell me a bit about your instruments. They're a bit strange and weird and lovely.
Well, this is the tuba, of course. Dawn studied at TAFE Toowoomba. Her father paid for her education. Dawn is not of the same father as Eve and I. The 2 brothers never spoke again.
So I heard.
Yes, and she plays a tuba. She's the only one with a musical education. We taught ourselves our music. This is the saw that our father gave Eve when she was 6. And we've, of course, got the toilet brush as well. Bring out the toilet brush. That's our toilet brush. We rub that on the keyboard. It keeps it clean. And this is our old 1960s Reed keyboard. And that's been with us for 17 years. Here's our pot, and that is our rice shaker from the kitchen. In our show, we've got some lovely special songs, and the songs we've got by ABBA and Sia, Lady Gaga, and Outcast, and we've got one by Daft Punk as well.
Then how do you get to find out about songs like Lady Gaga?
Well, that's because our wireless has got a dodgy knob, and it seems to just go wherever it likes. Mrs. Boyle's ferret was the cause. He was chewing on it one day, and it's never been the same since. Because of that, we've heard a lot of different stations, and we like the songs, on the modern stations as well. Some of them we've heard they use they dance in them, and I heard one had a pole in it.
So this was Lady Lex with the Kransky Sisters for scenestr TV.
You better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you hurry up. He hasn't stuffed our stockings since 1976. Is anyone else here haunted by that song?
That's this week's episode of The Blender on scenestr TV. If you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe for next week's episode for all new content around Australia. Bye guys.
We'll see you then.